Oh, hey, Nick.
Well, hello there, Tyson. How are you?
I am well. Welcome to the show, ladies and gentlemen. It is episode number 140 of Nick Tyson Videotape.
Lovely.
10 episodes away from a big milestone, Nick.
150.
So we're going to have to start thinking about, well, technically 9. Or technically, hang on. Yeah, 9. And then we've obviously got to do the 150th. So 9 more episodes.
That's right. 9 more episodes. And we're going to do something a bit amazing. Do we take requests for this?
We can put that out there, sure. If someone wants to, you can always get in contact with us on the mailbag if you want to request something, or you can do it. Oh, who cares? In this circumstance, because it's the 150th, I'll take requests in any way, shape, or form.
Right.
Because really? I'm usually a stickler. I want my requests on the email. But, hey, if you get us on Facebook, if you get us on Twitter, Instagram, whatever, however you get us there, if you want us to do something particular for our 150th, and make sure it's something good. We're not going to do something crap for our 150th.
Exactly. We're not doing, bringing it on 2.
Bring it on 2, bring it on again.
Heat. Bring it on again. Damn it. I thought it was bringing the heat. Damn
it. there must be one called Bringing the Heat, surely.
Bringing the Heat. There's got to be something like that.
That's why, as if they'd missed that opportunity.
We'll do You Got Served.
Oh, we'll do a You Got Served / Stomp the Yard double feature.
Yes.
The short-lived dance battle
and
movie craze.
Step it up. Ty, step it up. It's a 3-way battle.
Step it up or Step Up? Are they different movies?
Oh, no, it's Step Up. Is it Step Up? Well, now
that's the one with Channing Tatum, isn't it?
I believe it is, yes. Step Up.
I feel like
all this. Is there a box set of Step Up films?
Yeah, because they made like 7 of them.
Exactly, they did, didn't they, right? It is called Step Up.
They just started churning them out.
Exactly. Step Up to the Streets, Step Up 3D, Step Up Revolution. Jesus Christ, the list goes on. I'm gonna stop there. Good Lord.
Nick, in order to take your mind off how many step-ups there are, why don't you tell the people at home...
There's 6 of these things. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for joining us. My name is Nicholas. This is my good friend Tyson. We talk about films on this. We don't normally review films. We just talk about them.
Shoot the shit.
Exactly. Shoot the shit about it. If you are joining us for the first time, welcome. If you're not, if you're a seasoned player, thank you so much, Lee. Welcome back. If you do like what you hear thus far, please rate, review, subscribe, all of those things. I said twice. I know I did. But apart from that, you can follow us on all the Instagrams. You can follow us on all the socials. I've been up since 5:30. All the socials, which is Facebook, Instagram, Twitter. And Tyson and myself are big fans of the Letterboxd app. So if you do wish to follow us, you can follow Tyson at TYS_videotape. And I am Nick, NIC_videotape.
Nick, we didn't tell the people at home what we're doing. I mean, they know from the episode title.
No, this is the start. This is where Tyson, we thought, yes, let's do the Skulls. It was as exciting as doing The Crow. Not at all, but you know what I mean. It was there. We were passionate.
We'll get to it soon, but I think in my memory, I think I thought this was a different kind of movie. So this will be an interesting chat. Yeah, my memory had it as being a lot more bonkers fun.
Oh, really?
Yeah, but we'll...
Yeah, I think it was bonkers fun for
at
2000.
The time. Yeah,
I think that's what. Yeah.
Well, we don't want to give it away too soon, but we are talking about the Skulls from 2000. Joshua Jackson, Paul Walker. And we're going to have a fun little discussion about that in a short while. But first, Nicholas, because there is no trailers. There are no trailers.
There is not. There are not. We're still in lockdown. People are still not showing anything, and that's okay.
No, so it feels like it's getting real desperate out there. There was a second trailer for Becky.
Yeah.
So that's where we're at, people. A movie like Becky gets 2 trailers.
Exactly.
So yeah, we're going to forego talking trailers this week, which means we're going to jump to our usual end segment. Nick, do you want to count us in?
Which is
what did you watch this week?
Yeah. Have you listened to that? Are we in sync at all?
We're in sync if you just ignore what I'm doing. If you just keep going and don't even worry about it, we're in sync.
All right. I'm going to do it.
Yeah.
I'm going to do it.
It works well. Nick, do you want to go first? What did you watch this week?
Oh, sure. What did I watch? Oh, Tyson, I only watched one other thing other than our feature prez.
Oh, yeah.
It was a bit of a slow week for me. I've been working a lot. I have been it's a nice watch. I've been putting it off for a while. I guess it's always been there. I watched Pixar's Cars.
Oh,
because
nice.
this was very much my son. It was pouring. It was the day that it was just hammering with rain. My little man wanted to go to the park, and I was like, "How about we watch a full movie?" Because I don't normally, it doesn't get a lot of screen time, little man. So how about we watch a full movie and we can just play after that? So obviously, my son is heavily into any moving vehicle, be it. And he likes to rattle them off, like buses, cars. He says, tuk-tuks.
Buses and trains.
I don't know where he got that
walked
word
under
from.
a bus.
Tuk-tuks.
Got hit by a train.
He goes,
Keeps falling in love.
Tuk-tuk.
Because it's kind of the same.
Kind of the same. Buses, trains, all of those things. Tuk-tuks, all anything that moves. So we watched Cars. Now, Cars, Tys, I always put off because I was like, and I should stop doing this. I judge a book by its cover.
Sure.
I absolutely do. Even when I worked at Borders for those 5 years, I judged them hardcore. I was like, this book looks like crap. But Cars, I was like, this is basically literally
judging books by their covers.
Books by their covers.
Nicholas,
yeah, that's what I was doing.
You've learnt nothing.
So I put on Cars because it looked like, I was like, oh, this is just clearly like Toy Story. I get it. Bugs Life. Yeah, this is just one for the kiddies. This is, that Despicable Me thing, whatever everyone watches.
Minions.
And I don't watch that with the Minions. Sure, I'm not watching that crap. So I put on Cars. Tyson, Cars is really good.
I like Cars, man.
It.
I've got no issues with Cars at all.
I really enjoyed it. Like, good story, some insane animation. Like, I looked it up. The frames per second on this sucker, they had to really ramp it up. I forget what the numbers were, but compared to this and compared to Incredibles, which was quite fast, this is the fast, frames per second. This is the
cells per second?
Cells per second. Yeah, cells per second. But my God, it was just a wholesome movie. It was
super
great.
wholesome, isn't it?
Yeah, it's just a fun. It's a for the family. It's not heavy. Like you don't get some heavy parts. Like Clark's other favorite is Finding Nemo, and I don't log that in Letterboxd. Otherwise, my Letterboxd would be literally chock full of Nemo. but yeah, we watched.
That's what I'm going to call my fish and chip shop, by the way. Chock full of Nemo.
Chock full of Nemo. Nice. Yeah. So. There's no heavy parts like Up or the start of Finding Nemo that everyone tries to get past quickly without bawling their eyes out.
Yeah.
But there were some really nice heart-wrenching moments in Cars, which I really enjoyed. And it's so funny how a movie like this, which is G-rated, was. I think it made quite a bit of money compared to... It
was a big success for him, yeah, absolutely.
And Incredible, which is why they've pushed out 2 more.
Yeah.
And Planes, the other spin-off.
It's got a spin-off. I think it's got a TV series. I really think they've gone nuts.
They've gone nuts.
As far as merchandise goes as well, like if you'll always find Cars merchandise. Whereas I don't think you're finding much good dinosaur merchandise floating around.
Or even like Monsters, Inc. Like find PJs that have Monsters, Inc. on it compared to Lightning McQueen. Yeah. And you're like, yeah, huge. But yeah, I was just comparing Tyson because this is a G-rated film. I wouldn't think there's not a lot of thought put into this. But the arc of Lightning McQueen is complete in its trajectory. Like it is so thought out and... This is not just a run-of-the-mill, let's chuck some animation together and we'll push it out for the kids because it makes a ton of money. No. This is actually really thought out.
Like we forget, man. Like, it's still... This is peak-era Pixar. Like, and it kind of gets a bad rap, but it's still all those same guys. Like, and it might have... I remember when it came out, everyone's response was generally like, it's a super entertaining movie. It might not be at the level of some of their other stuff, but it's still great and it's really fun. But because those were the reviews, it kind of ended up getting the reputation of being the not good Pixar film. It's like that's not even it at all. It's still fun. No. It's still better than anything Disney was putting out at that time, like the normal Disney studio, like Bolt and. Well, what else?
I don't mind Bolt.
Bolt's fine.
Bolt was all right.
Yeah, but I mean, Bolt's fine. But
Bolt's fine. But yeah, I know what you're talking about. Like, what's another one that Disney pushed out that everyone was like, "What the fuck?"
Turbo. Was that Turbo? That might have been after.
There you go. The snail
cash in
one.
on it. Yeah. But yeah, so I really rate it.
Yeah.
You know my favorite, the Italian or the French.
Italian guy.
Yeah. He's the best.
Luigi.
Yeah.
Guido.
Guido? Yeah. And he's like, what is he? He's the tire changer or something, isn't he? Or
he's got the tire shop.
Yeah, he's my
Yeah,
fave.
yeah. And then in the race, he does his tires. Like he changes his tires.
Yeah.
All the tires, yeah. So good. Such a good movie.
Yeah, I really enjoyed it. I've only seen it the once, but I loved it a lot. I saw it like close to when it came out, I think. And I remember being surprised by it too. And I think maybe it's because it has that reputation that you get pleasantly surprised by it. Which is good. Are you tempted to watch any of the sequels then?
Look, I'm going to... Well, until Clark realizes, because I haven't done that yet. I haven't gone, hey, buddy, guess what?
Oh, he doesn't know there's two more?
He doesn't know that there's two more.
TV series and...
Exactly, and all
spin-offs.
The other things that Disney Plus, because you go on Disney Plus and they just go, oh, you like cars? How about this?
Oh, and there's like Mater's
so
Big
cars.
Holiday or whatever, where it's just a Mater spin-off series, like
Christmas special, and the cars and planes talking together. This thing is just going gangbusters. They are selling lunch boxes out the wazoo.
I have some Cars merchandise. I know because
do you?
Yeah, I used to go through a phase of buying, and when I say go through a phase, I mean I'm still kind of in this phase.
You're in that phase.
Whereas if I see something like merchandise and I think that looks like that's good and I like it, it looks kind of unique, it might be worth something one day, I will buy it.
Yep.
And I have some Cars merchandise that I got from like a market or something. So it didn't look like it was mass produced like Target stuff. It looked like it was slightly more one-offs. Maybe not one-offs, but like, slightly more unique. So
yeah.
Who knows where that is? God,
it's in a box.
It's in a box. Everything's
somewhere.
in boxes.
Yep. Nice.
Nice
so
one.
that's the only movie I watched. I watched Cars. What did you watch, Tys?
Well, Nick, I will tell you a story.
Here we go.
So
I like stories.
I may have had a little bit too much to drink on Saturday evening, and it happens from time to time.
Hey man,
and
you got to let loose, especially in these crazy days we're living in.
That's it. And when we do get to cut loose occasionally, cut loose I shall. Now, on Sunday, that meant that I was not in any real state. So I had a to-do list, I had things, none of it got done. But what did get done was watching Scream 2, 3, and 4 back to back.
Good Lord. You did 3/4 of a box set. You nutter.
Yes,
that's awesome.
I did.
That is awesome.
So that was an excellent way to spend a hungover Sunday, I can tell you that much. And I won't go into too much detail about all of them, other than to say Scream 2, which I used to kind of think was comparable to 1. That is nonsense. It is now that I've watched it, because we did Scream last Halloween, I believe.
We did Scream last Halloween.
So it's been within a year that I've seen Scream and now Scream 2. They are not comparable. See, Scream 2 is fun, and there are some really great sequences in it, but it does not hold a candle to Scream 1.
Right, okay. Scream 3?
Scream 3 was better than I remembered it, but still not very good. It's
so
really
on par with 2? Would you say on par with 2?
No. But I used to think it was real rubbish, but I actually kind of had fun. And, I was kind of like, there was the goofy stuff worked a lot better, and that may have been because I was, kind of out of it. But
still half cut.
Yeah, maybe. But, and when I'm smashing Red Rooster and having a giggle at, it's Parker Posey and all the nonsense that happens in that movie, because it suddenly turns into like a slapstick comedy at points. Like, it's ridiculous. And I think I was just on board for it. I was like, this is kind of much more fun than I remember it being. And then 4 worked really well for me. 4 I really liked. Yeah. So
I was actually a big fan of 4.
Well, I really liked it too.
What they spun on it.
I thought it was going to be like a I'd reassess now because that first watch had obviously been so long, and I was just really excited to see a new Scream movie. But I think it's still really good, and probably I think the second best. I'm going to change my order. I think I used to go 1, 2, 4, 3. I think I'm going 1, 4, 2, 3.
1, 4, 2, 3?
Yeah, I think so.
I think that was when I originally watched Scream 4, that was my original order.
Right.
Because I remember, Okay, Scream box.
It's only by a little bit, though. It's like a tiny... 2 and 4, I think, have similar problems, but similar great things about them.
Okay. 2 and 3, I haven't watched probably since the video store days. Sure. And Scream 2 is actually the very first film that got ruined for me.
No.
As a spoiler, it got ruined by a guy at high school. His name was John Marr. Luke knows who John is. Luke is a constant listener. Hey, Luke, what's up? John Marr spoiled that for me. And John, fuck you. You bastard.
All these years later, Fuck you,
all
John.
these years later. Yeah, fuck you, man. That's just harsh.
That's really funny.
Why would you do that?
Yeah.
First movie ever got spoiled from.
I remember being utterly shocked in the second one.
Really?
Yeah.
What, for the killer?
spoiler
who
at the end,
kills? Really?
Yeah,
Utterly shocked.
I was like jaw to the floor. The problem with the third one is I think there's a big problem in who the killer is in the third one, and I think it pretty much ruins a lot of the goodwill in it. That it turns out that's who the killer turns out to be.
I think one was the one that floored me the most.
Oh yeah, of course.
Yeah,
of course.
yeah.
But even that's why I found two so interesting, is because even knowing that there was going to be some kind of like reveal, because that was one of the best parts about the first Scream, was that you didn't know going into it that it was going to also be a whodunit. Like,
exactly.
And so that reveal became like iconic, and you were just like, so going into the second one, you were like, oh, who's the killer going to be? And you're looking for clues and all that kind of stuff. So I was still floored by it, and I found that really impressive. And also in 4, they've gotten me every time. Curse them.
Yeah, that I always got switched around by 4 as well, because I've only seen it once. But yeah, I always thought it was going to be Rory Culkin. I was like, oh, it's totally him. He's got to be it. Like those two guys him. Doing their vlog or whatever. Spoilers for 4. He was the other one. He was the other one. Exactly.
Yeah. But I think you find out about him first. You find out about Rory Culkin first.
Yeah,
and then
the fact that there's another.
Yeah, and he was the obvious one. You were like, oh, yeah, that makes sense that it's him.
Yeah.
And then, the other spoilers for Scream 4. I love how I didn't spoil Scream 2, but I'm so happy to spoil Scream 4. But yeah, the reveal of Emma Roberts was a bit of a holy shit, which I did enjoy. But look,
she played a nutter very well.
She did. She actually really did. So there's plenty. Look, there's plenty to like. The box set on Blu-ray is super cheap at the moment. By the way, you can get all 4 plus special features and stuff that's on it. It's like $20. That's a good deal.
Really?
Yeah.
Damn it. I think it was the time before this, Tyson, when we did. I was doing horror. We've talked about it before. You were doing it on Facebook. You were doing a horror movie every day for Halloween.
That didn't work well.
Yeah, ages ago. And I bought the Scream box set on. Yeah. I did the box set on DVD.
Yeah, right.
Yeah. But yeah,
I think that box set's better though, because does that have the docos in it as well?
Oh, I haven't checked.
Because there's one box set that's got the franchise making of, which is. I can't remember what it was called, but it's floating around on YouTube. But I remember I tried to look for it once again one other time, and I couldn't find it again.
Taken off.
So unless I just got to the fun part of YouTube and managed to stumble across it, and just sometimes it's hard to track down that stuff again. You've got to search for a really particular thing.
It's very specific.
Yeah. The only other thing I'll talk about, I watched a Netflix original. Sorry, not Netflix original. Amazon original. Amazon Studios original. And it's a film called The Vast of Night. So just released late last year into studios, into festivals and stuff, and Amazon picked it up and released it as a original. It's I saw a trailer for it a little while ago, and I was like, oh, that looks kind of fun, but it looked like the kind of, when you see trailers sometimes and you're just like, I'm sure it looks fun, but you're never going to watch it in your life. You just kind of have that feeling. That was the way I felt about this trailer. I was like, that looks kind of cool, but I'm never going to sit down and watch this. There's no way, because I'd have to go to great lengths to find it, because you can tell it was not going to be the kind of thing that we'd have easy access to. Unfortunately, here in Australia, we just don't have easy access to that kind of stuff. But when it just popped up on Amazon, and I was like, oh, Amazon original. And they made a little bit of a hoo-ha about it. So I watched it on the first day it was available. I was like, man, I'm a super fan. And it's really cool. Yeah, it's definitely worth watching. It's not long. It's quite short. It's probably about 85 minutes, I think. It's set in New Mexico in the 50s, and it's an alien landing thriller. Except it's not about the aliens or any of that. There's no big special effects. There's nothing. It's about a radio DJ and a phone operator who end up having conversations with different people who have experienced strange phenomenon. And so, which seems kind of boring, right? You kind of go, well, why is this a movie?
Yeah.
So basically was nerds ringing absolutely up riveting. And it's I was really amazed by how well acted it was, for a couple of unknowns, who really just took the dialogue and made it seem so realistic, so lifelike. And it had that real 50s kind of energy. Everything was really on top of each other. They were, back and forth, real tit-a-tat kind of back and forth. And you just get swept into it. And then as these people... So they hear this weird noise in the sky. I feel like I want to describe a bit of it so that maybe people go, oh, that sounds kind of cool. So while she's working on the switchboard, this noise cuts over into the switchboard and it kind of hangs up a few people. Anyway, a mate of hers is a local DJ. And he's kind of having a quiet night because the big game is on, so everyone's at the big game. He's not going to get many calls. He's not going to get many listeners. So she calls him and she's just like, hey, did you, have you heard this weird sound? And she plays it to him and he's like, oh, that is really bizarre. And he says, well, I'll put it through the radio and just see if anyone's listening who can tell us anything about it. And they get a phone call from a military guy who says, I know exactly what that sound is. I'm going to tell you a story. And so for the next 15 minutes or whatever, we just hear his voice and we cut between him in the studio and her at the switchbox listening.
Damn.
And it was riveting. Like you are just hanging on every word. Right? Then there's these incredible moments of direction where they do these massive one takes of the town and like the basketball game. There's a shot of the switchboard operator as she discovers the sound. It's like a 10-minute continuous shot of her just trying to call people, getting on for a second, getting cut off, calling someone else and being like, did you hear that sound? Like something cut us off. Did you get that? Blah, blah, blah. And it was really like... It's an interesting movie because I think, you look at it and you go, I've read a lot of reviews, people saying, hey, it's okay, this would have made a really great podcast. And I'm like, well, I mean, you could say that about a lot of things, like it would make a really good radio play. It would make a really good stage play. And it just happens to have made also a really good movie. I think it's unfair to just kind of say just because it's about storytelling doesn't mean that it can't be a movie. You know what I mean?
Yeah, right.
It's about audio storytelling, I should say. So yeah, I really recommend it. I think it's a lot of fun. You've got to be in the right frame of mind. It's lights off, late night kind of style viewing.
Nice. So old school Twilight Zone type
100%.
deal.
And it's bookended by like Twilight Zone style narration.
Okay.
Yeah, so they're 100% going for that. That's what they're doing. So,
so the creators watched a lot of Twilight Zone and Outer Limits and all that stuff. Nice.
But yeah, it's just really cool.
What's it called again?
The Vast of Night.
The Vast of Night.
Yeah.
Cool. Check it out on Amazon Prime.
Just on Amazon Prime. Yeah.
Prime. Cool.
Well worth it. And I'd love to hear what people thought because I found it to be a really unique movie experience. So concerned with dialogue and so not concerned with like flashiness, like just allowing these actors to have this dialogue and just holding a camera on them was so interesting and so really refreshing actually. Yeah, well worth it.
Cool.
Well, Nick, should we move on to our feature prez?
Let's dive into the thing that is called the Skulls.
Let's do that.
And now for our feature presentation.
In a place where tomorrow's leaders are groomed.
Where did Mr. McNamara learn to row?
The local sewers, I imagine. He's a townie.
He won us the Ivy League championship 3 years in a row. That's all I know.
In an organization.
Are you ready to be reborn?
Where success is assured.
Our membership has its pleasures, its hardships, and sometimes its pain.
We live by the rules, we die by the rules.
Gentlemen, welcome home.
Luke McNamara is about to get an opportunity.
A skull above any other.
He's only dreamed of.
Booyah! Senator, it's a pleasure to meet you.
What do you think of all this?
To be honest, it's all a little bit overwhelming.
But if a secret society can give you everything you desire.
This is your pre-acceptance to the law school of your choice.
That's gotta be a mistake.
You are a skull.
Imagine what they can take away.
None of us are safe.
What are you gonna do?
We live by the rules, we die by the rules.
I want to know the truth about what happened that night.
The surveillance cameras, so there's gotta be tapes. Can you get any closer on this? Closer.
I know what you did.
It's time we remove Mr. McNamara. He's no longer loyal.
If you keep digging, you're gonna dig your own grave.
Only an elite few ever get in.
I have evidence.
They erased the tape.
Who?
The Skulls. They control everything.
No one has ever gotten out.
They're dead.
If it's secret and elite, it can't be good.
Would you like your life back, Luke?
I'm putting it out there, Nick. Shortest episode of Nick Tys and Videotape ever. I've said this before. I guarantee it. If this thing comes in over an hour and a half, I swear, how is that humanly possible? We cannot have more than 40 minutes to talk about the skulls. What can we possibly say?
I got half a page of notes. I didn't think that I would have.
But it's all just garbage.
Yeah, it's all of it starts with why or if.
Yeah, exactly. I don't want to be too mean, but this movie, Nick, I kind of hoped this would be like fun in the vein of like how we kind of hung affectionate shit on Swordfish and Fast and the Furious, which we ended up quite liking. But I
know, right?
But
that's what we were going for.
Yeah, I don't like just saying a movie's bad. I like kind of. It's like, yeah, but, there is enjoyment in there, and there's real, and it's not about enjoying it ironically or anything like that. It's about just kind of appreciating the sincerity of the people that made it and just being like, man, you guys really, this isn't a good movie, but fuck you, we're trying to make something good. And there's little nuggets of enjoyment. Yeah, exactly. It's all about the chutzpah.
Chutzpah.
But this is a real slog with this movie. Isn't it? I had to watch it in sittings. I was just like, that's enough skulls for me. I had to turn it off and go do something else for a bit. Come back.
I had a little bit of an inkling that it was going to be a bit of a sit-in. So I set myself up, and I didn't watch it last night. I watched it the night before. And I punched it out. And look, I did, my mind did wander. To my phone a couple of times,
Yep, I was checking my phone.
I tried as hard as I could to glue myself to what was happening on the screen, because there were so many things that are so dated nowadays. We're not just talking about script or in the movie itself. Like, just the cinematography itself was quite lacking.
This looks like a bad episode of Party of Five. It's shot like garbage, isn't it?
Yeah, now, really was. It was a shoestring budget.
Nick, I'm gonna throw ourselves in it, and if the FBI want to come get us, that's fine. But
shit,
you had to download this, right?
I downloaded.
Yeah, so this was procured through less than legal means, because I need to tell people this. I've gone on the hunt.
I'll go on.
You cannot buy a copy of the Skulls on DVD. Unless you want to part with $50, $60, because people on eBay have gotten wind. People have gotten wind that this thing is long deleted and are charging way too much money for this movie.
Why? When you can just download it.
Well, because it's not nice.
Because they want the hard copy. It's all about the currency.
But I kind of joked about it last week, but I went to there is a place not too far from where I live that is like a treasure trove of used DVDs.
That's right. Yep.
It is ridiculous what this place has. And so I went there, and they'd actually recently kind of done some renovating. So the DVD collection out the front was far less than usual.
Damn it.
And so I went up to him and I said, look, I'm just trying to find a specific DVD. You don't happen to have a catalogue of what you had here before you made all the changes and stuff.
Yeah.
And they said, look, we don't. The lady at the counter was awesome. She was like, but my son's looking after all the DVDs. And I was like, a kindred spirit.
Hello, young man. What is your name?
Man. Yeah, exactly. I was like, we could chew each other's ear off for a little while. And I asked him, and he was like, "Oh, do you know what? I think I've seen it, but there are boxes upon boxes out the back." And he was like, "I'm gonna have to take your name and number, and I'll let you know if I find it." I did not receive a phone call, so I don't know if they still maybe do have a copy. I can tell you now, I'm pretty glad I didn't pay $50 on eBay to watch this thing. Because that would have been really
no one's paying
$50.
Jesus Christ, that's just horrible. If you've paid over $10 for this thing.
I remember it used to be $6.98 at JB Hi-Fi. It was a $6.98 special.
It was lovely.
The reason why I'm bringing it up because we both had to both had to download it.
We did, yes.
The copy I downloaded, and I don't know if it was just me, but it was really like the lens coloring. So there was sunlight would just be like. It was like lens flares, but not really. It was like the J.J. Abrams lens flare, but not quite as obvious and obtrusive of that. It would just be that sunlight would cause all these, halo-like effects on everything.
Yeah.
And I was like, this looks like garbage. This looks like somebody that doesn't know how to light a movie.
Or how to light a movie, yeah.
It was.
Yeah, I did get that a lot. They did use a lot of natural. I don't know whether it was natural light or not, but it did look like that, especially in the scenes in his dorm and the scenes in the bathroom. That you were like, what is going on? Why is it so almost washed out? Like it's the shots were almost washed out of
well,
color.
Sometimes they had like a Michael Bay kind of style color grading to them, and other times they were so dull and just like drab coloring. And I get it, like sometimes it was representative of what was happening, but at other times it was that's just what it was.
Yeah, like the scene where they go their first, or not their first, but their only task, where they have to go and grab the mascot, the snake, the double-headed wind.
Yes.
They call it a wind
serpent
vane, a wind
weather
vane. Yeah, and they go and grab it, and there is no color in any of those scenes. Like it's shot at night, but still, even at nighttime, you can.
The nighttime scenes.
Lighting,
a lot of the stuff with the actual
color.
skulls themselves are really drab, but I think that could have been a choice.
But you got to remember, in 2000s, like the Millennium Bug, everything was like either like a silver or a grey. Grey, silver were very in.
Greys and silvers also had like they popped as well, and there was a real like. Yeah, there was
like a metronome like type, like, you know what I mean?
I know.
Like
I know what you mean.
Yeah.
But this definitely did not have that.
No, not at all.
But yeah, so it looks terrible. It's a really like it's kind of a terrible movie where nothing happens for a while, and then all of a sudden everything happens in the space of like 20 minutes, and you're on board.
Are you though?
Well, you're at least kind of like, all right, here we go. At least something's happening. Yeah.
Yeah, right.
And then it ends, and you're kind of like, oh, okay. Well, I guess I was on board for about 20 of the 110 minutes of this thing.
That was the first thing I looked at, because I was like, this thing isn't going to be good. So how long does this go for? And I was like, oh, nice. Not that long.
It's not too long, is it?
Is it 98 minutes, I think?
I can't remember. Let me have a little squizzy. 106. 106 minutes.
106. Like, that's a snap.
That's a solid 16 minutes too long. This thing should be a tight 90. 88.
But, exactly. All the way through this movie, though, I was in my head, especially because of the time of it came out, I was heavily into Dawson's Creek. And this was just, for me, it was just a extra long episode of Dawson's Creek. Pacey goes to uni.
Yeah.
That's all it was.
Well, a lot of these movies were, because, like something like Varsity Blues, I felt the same way about it. It was just, like, it's just...
Dawson plays football.
Exactly.
Yeah, right.
Also starring Paul Walker.
What was... Also, I know, right?
We should have done Varsity Blues. That would have been a lot more fun, actually. We should have done
that. I've watched that recently, and that is bad. That is really bad.
I watched it not that long ago, and I enjoyed it. Well, I didn't like it, but I enjoyed it.
No, because I used to really love that movie. Like, me and my brother used to watch it all the time. I was like, nah,
Are all these movies bad? Is that what we're going to find out as we go through? That all these movies that we were kind of like, they were okay, and now just awful.
Yeah, 2000s was not a good time. What was I've got it there. Yeah, Disturbing Behaviour.
Which I was also, while watching this, I was like, I was sad we didn't do that instead, because I think that was closer to what I wanted out of this. I find it funny that like they were both in, because I think Disturbing Behaviour was 99 maybe, or 98.
Oh, okay.
I find it interesting that they were, so Pacey and Joey were both in movies that a large plot point is someone getting taken to a mental institution and drugged into thinking that they're comatose for a little while.
That's true. What did Michelle do? What did Jen Lindley do?
Well, she did good stuff.
What was her movie?
Dick.
Yeah, right. Oh, she did Dick. That was a really good
98,
movie.
I want to say.
Yeah.
But yeah, and then she started doing good stuff. Like, that's the thing about Michelle Williams did it right. She was the one that actually got all the good gigs.
All the good gigs. And was she H2O? No, yes.
H2O? Oh,
Halloween
she was.
H2O.
Yes, you're right.
Yeah.
Well, I take it back. That's not the...
Oh, I don't know. H2O still stands up, doesn't it?
No, I like it, but it's not the... it's not the be-all, end-all of that era.
No. Exactly. It's not like Skulls.
Where, that's what I'm trying to say, basically, is that it's no Skulls.
Can we just have a moment? So I'm going to talk a little bit about the movie. So, because, for those of you who haven't seen the Skulls, don't waste your time. But other than that, how funny is
there's some stuff? There's some stuff to enjoy. There is some stuff to enjoy, and we'll get there.
But the thing was, the first 15, I scratched that. The first 10, right? The first 10 minutes, it was pacey. He was going in. He was trying to get into the Skulls. He was all for it. His friends knew all about it. This is the thing about what is the point of a secret society if everyone knows? Everyone knows.
They got a sign. They got a thing hanging up. Yeah.
Yeah. When you walk down the street, you can see the massive skull sign at the top of oh, yeah, that's where the Skulls are. They're over there.
Yeah. I think the whole concept of it being a secret society is kind of, I think, was probably not even the right way to go because they're trying to base it off.
It a club.
They're trying to base it off the real one that Yale Uni had, the Skull and Crossbones or whatever it was called. Skull and Bones? Skull and Bones. I don't know.
I think it was.
And so that everyone knows that exists. It's kind of like the Freemasons, isn't it? We all know that they're a thing. We just don't know what shady shit they're up to.
Exactly.
So yeah,
it's just like Scientology, same thing.
It's like Scientology, exactly. But I am under the impression that if you know somebody that's like a Freemason or a Scientologist, and you say, and you ask them, "Is this what you do?" They're allowed to say, "Yes, I am that."
Yes, Freemasons are. Yeah, Freemasons are. Yeah,
there's no reason.
Scientologists aren't going to tell you anything.
They won't tell you anything about it, but they can say, "Yes, I am a Scientologist," can't they?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Like it's not like they get in trouble for doing that.
No. Well, they shouldn't. If they do, that's probably not good. But yeah, the first 10 minutes, I was all for it. He was going in. He was gonna be part of the Skulls. His friends knew about it, like the girl and the guy, and they were all for it. And then he gets in, and this big, massive fight happens for no reasons. If his friends knew that he wanted to get in and he gets in, they can't just go, "Well, we're not your friend anymore."
I wrote that exact note. I wrote, this argument feels really early in this movie.
Yeah,
should it be later?
Exactly.
Because he hasn't even had a chance to be a Skull yet and do stuff and make him and have him be like, "Hey, we're going out for pizza. You want to come?" And it's like, "Oh no, I'm hanging out with Caleb." Or
sorry.
I'm writing this really cool story. Can you help me out with this thing? And it's like, I actually can't tell you about this stuff. I'm not allowed to.
Yeah. Where was that conversation?
Then you have the fight. You don't roll up on the day and go, "Hey man, I'm wet. I haven't slept. I just want to go to bed." And he storms out of there.
And he's like, "Well, answer this question. Are you a Skull?" And he's like, doesn't say anything. He's like, "Okay, see you later then. We're not friends." I'm like, whoa, that escalated fast.
No, but he says, "I don't know." And he doesn't know at that point because they haven't confirmed him yet. So he didn't lie to him.
Skull thing, his key.
He's got to get his key and he's sick Scar.
We'll bring that up in a
minute. So I had the exact same note. I thought that argument was like plot convenience 101. It was like, well, this is where the plot needs to go, so let's have him have the fight now. And I'm sure somebody in the room went, "You know what, this feels really early. We maybe need to build this up." And I'm sure someone else went, "We don't have time for that."
And they're like, we don't have time for that. We have to shoot this thing in 15
Write
days.
the scene.
Okay?
Exactly. We're shooting in 15. Write the scene so it happens early. Go.
Exactly. Go. Someone wet down Pacey Witter again. Pacey, come over here. You know my name's Joshua Jackson. Don't you shut up.
Exactly.
Just fucking get the water. Yeah.
Paul Walker, I don't want to overlook his character entry because it made me laugh out loud. There were I think there were two things. Yeah, there were two things that made me audibly laugh. And they were single solitary sounds because they were so ridiculous. And that is when his introduction, when he sits up on the seat and the girl behind him goes, "I can't see the race." And his reaction to her is, "Imagine it."
I laughed my ass off as well.
I was like, that is amazing.
You're a lovely
piece
gentleman,
of shit.
Fucking prick.
I'm like, that's the way to make us instantly, let's have some compassion for this character, who by the end of the movie we're meant to actually feel compassion for.
We are. We're supposed to, but
and it's not like he's changed much as a person. It's meant to be that he's actually grown more courageous.
Yeah.
He hasn't not become an asshole. He's just learned to stick up for himself. So having him come in on the scene and just being like, "You can look at my fucking back instead of the rowing race that I'm here to watch." I don't think funny. I like him.
No. What was I going to say? I was going to say something. No, it's gone.
Because I was just going back to my notes so that I didn't miss anything prior to that. The only other thing I had before that is I do like Well, what do we think of... I didn't mind the production design of this movie, of the Skulls, like, castle.
Emblem.
Like,
yes.
So...
Very nice.
If this movie had been more fun to watch and kind of embraced the campness of the way that the way that fucking mansion is decked out, we probably have a much better movie on our hands. Because
probably have a little bit more fun.
The way that they're strutting around in robes and like...
and torches getting lit every 5 seconds. There's another room with torches.
They've got a legit lighting budget because they've got some... Like, these guys are like shining like full backlights on these guys, making it all the most theatrical thing. Like, when they all wake up in the coffins, it goes from, like, it's full stage lighting. There's backlighting.
How good was that?
There's, like, a full wash, and then it kind of shrinks down into, like, a dome on the middle platform.
On the middle coffin.
I'm like, these guys have got it sorted here. This is like a full theatre show. And that's the stuff I was like, if they kind of embraced that, because it was a bit camp. And I was like, that should be what this movie is. Instead, it was all super serious and, like...
So 2000s.
So through 2000s.
So when we talked about what's his name? We'll just call him Paul Walker. Paul Walker's
no, please.
Like
Caleb Mandrake.
Caleb Mandrake. What a badass name.
These people's names are fucking ridiculous. I had to look up JT Walsh's name. Is it JT Walsh? No, it's not JT Walsh.
No,
it's
fuck. I know who you're talking about.
Yeah,
it's,
I've got
Mr. Incredible. Nelson. JT Nelson.
Is it JT Nelson?
Is it Nelson?
Is there JT Nelson and JT Walsh? Or I must have I think I've got the...
I think you got something mixed up.
Yeah. Hang on. I need to know.
You need to know. Okay, well, while you look that up...
It's Craig T. Nelson.
Oh, Craig.
And JT Walsh. Yeah, there we go.
My favourite name, Craig.
So his name is Lytton. Lytton is his first name.
Mandrake.
And because it sounds like I might be saying something else for the listeners at home, that's Litten.
Lytton. That's true.
Oh dear.
Is it William Peterson? What was his name?
Yeah,
Ames?
Ames.
Ames Leverett.
Ames Leverett. That's such a that's a southern name if there ever was one. Ames Leverett owned a plantation.
He did
in the south, like you can tell.
I wanted because we both went into this not knowing. We don't remember what this was about. We don't remember anything. The only thing I remember about the Skulls was the shootout at the end. Spoilers for Skulls.
There's a duel at the end.
There's a duel with pistols at the end. Pistols
at dawn.
That's the only thing I remember. So going through it, I was like, okay, Paul Walker's a prick. He's the prick. Okay, cool. So he's going to have the arc. They're going to be friends. It's going to be great. So because Joshua Jackson's character and him, they get partnered up by being called soulmates. This is your soulmate. Your soulmate gets to know everything, all this stuff. I was like, oh, cool. So he's gonna have this arc, and he'll be nice by the end. But the fact that they buddied up, there was no kind of like relationship between them. Like there was
really. They bonded. They bonded when they went and got the
weather vane, which is not really
no,
bonding.
but
it's just like we're up here. Yeah. I've just met you, and
that's what I mean. Everything felt really rushed.
That it's just water.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Everything was super rushed because then he calls him the next day and it's like, oh, we're best friends now. And it's like, well, no, you haven't even... There's been very little actual kind of character development. You've had one night together, like playing, Daredevil kind of stuff. Yeah. And then he's called him in the morning and that's it. It's like, it's not enough for us to feel bad when something happens to their friendship. And I think we're meant to. I think we're meant to be like, oh no, the crumbling of this friendship. Oh. I think that's how the movie wants us to feel about it.
And especially because, like, through the movie, Joshua Jackson's character, Lucas, he wants to be a Skull. He has a fight with his friend, then no longer wants to be a Skull. Like, he's like, you know what? I'm out. This is shit. Oh, no, hang on a minute. No, he has a couple of days of fun. He goes to the hotel... And then
he goes out to dinner and he checks his ATM, his bank balance. I remember that scene.
Bank balance.
That was a trailer moment. Like, I remember that moment in the trailer so clearly. Because as a kid, I was like, hey, man, that's pretty cool. Imagine if you just went to the ATM and you had the 20 grand in there and you didn't know what happened.
How good is that?
And I love how he had $20,019, which means
so
that he had $19. Even
he had $20.
They were kind enough to say, "Oh, he had $20 in his account." And I'm like, "Oh, Jesus, it's a bit rough."
You guys are nice. Yeah, harsh. So he had a couple of decent days, and then all of a sudden doesn't want to be a skull anymore. Like, it was such a quick switch. He was like, "No, I've had enough."
Is he over it before anything happens with Will, or not? Or does it take Will's death for him to be over it? I can't remember the order of events very well, but hang on, let me check.
I only watched it 2 days ago. I'm pretty sure. All right.
Okay, so he has his fun.
Mm-hmm.
So he gets so he doesn't I don't think he actually starts doubting anything. I think he gets all swept up in it, and then it's when Will dies that he's like, "Oh,
when Will dies," and he's like, "Oh,
I'm not
fuck.
up for this. This is not good."
Yeah, right.
Because we get the branding ceremony with the
That's right. Oh, yep.
with the thing where I'm not certain that this is healthy, but do you put you can't put that watch on like straight away, can you?
Straight, that's my note. I was like, a watch over a fresh brand would fucking kill. It would just.
Is it like putting like a stainless steel stud when you get your ears pierced? Is it kind of the same thing? Is it like...
I really don't think so, because a brand has to blister and welter, and then it's a brand on you.
I'm surprised none of them, like when they put the watch on, none of them went, "Oh, can we not do this like right now?
Can you put that on the other wrist?
What if this sticks to my arm? Like, imagine when you take it home and you do that thing and you accidentally knock the watch, but it's kind of like it's gotten a bit stuck to your flesh. Yeah.
Oh shit.
It's rough.
That's messed up.
Nice watches,
That's messed up.
I will say that. That's a nice looking watch.
That's a biscuit. I saw that shit. It looks nice.
I'm not a watch guy, but that is a nice looking watch.
Oh my god.
Do you want to know my second? Oh no, you go.
No, I've got nothing. I've got one more, and then I'm gonna point out some things that maybe are a little dated. What are you gonna say?
I'm just gonna give you my second lol moment. And this might be one of your dated things, to be honest.
Yep.
But never in my life have I heard a more inappropriate song play for the reveal of good-looking ladies than Higher by Creed.
Jesus Christ.
That was my second laugh out loud moment, because all of a sudden Caleb was like, "Hey, check it out." And this group of young ladies, who I assume are all prostitutes, is this what's happening?
I'm going to have to go prostitutes, because the only other thing that they could be is it could be human trafficking.
Yeah. Either way, it's real sus, isn't it? They just march them out. And
the fact that she has an accent, I was like, this could be human trafficking.
No, you're right.
Oh, fuck. Yeah.
This is green card, like bribery. This is what this is.
Exactly. That's what this is. Yep.
So there's so many great moments in that. So the fact that Higher by Creed kicks in. Can you take me higher?
That song is like a trailer staple. Like, it has to be in trailers. Like, that's the only place it can be.
But all I have is memories of that terrible film clip where he's like, it's basically like a Jesus thing, and he's just on the cliff and it's raining and his arms are out, like crucifixion pose. Yeah. I'm just like, oh man, these guys care about themselves a lot more than they probably
The camera
should.
Rolls behind him, and all of a sudden he's in front of an audience. I remember that film clip. I do.
I'll be honest. In 1999, me was kind of okay with Creed. I was okay with Creed.
Yeah, I plead the fifth on that. Yep.
Go on, everybody admit it. We all liked Creed. It was fine.
And everyone loved Nickelback for about a day. Everyone
that
was
first
like,
Nickelback album, it's got some good killer tracks on it.
Some good tracks on it. Hey, when we talked about it with Edge, when we talked about Spidey 1, is it 2002 Spidey? Yeah.
Yeah, 2 or
Spider-Man?
3. Yeah.
Is it 2?
I think it is 2, actually. You're right.
That song that Chad did, Hero, with the guy from Saliva, that was not a bad song. I like that song.
It's
I like that song.
Exactly.
Yeah. I'll admit it.
Welcome back to the Defending Chad Kroger podcast.
Good Lord,
every week.
No, please don't unsubscribe. We're very sorry.
We'll spend 5 minutes telling you why it's okay to like Nickelback.
No, we won't.
So the other things that I found interesting was that.
Oh, sure.
So also, like, Caleb marching out with 2 of them, and I was just like,
yeah, why does he get 2?
Why does he get 2?
I want 2.
Wait, is he special? I mean, his dad. But that's what I mean. It's also like at the same time. Like, do you want your dad to be paying for prostitutes for you? That feels really. I mean, obviously you don't want anyone buying a prostitute. It's like, in a perfect world, no one needs to visit a prostitute.
That's what the type of relationship him and his dad have, is that he is head of this secret society and he gives his son prostitutes. 2, not 1, 2.
Yeah, I'm uncomfortable with how comfortable he is walking out with 2 girls that he knows his dad paid for him. That's weird.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. That's just, and the fact, my God.
Especially if it's like he said something like, make sure you look after him or something like that. I'm just be like,
here's an extra 50. Put your back into it. Oh, God. Rub that from the, scratch that.
Stop it. No, that's
Good
funny.
Lord.
And
terrible.
the other thing that made me giggle as well is that there was one super keno skull who was already just macking on with the girl.
Oh yeah, in the front. I saw that.
So as the camera pans out and he's just like, screw this, I'm going in, I'm going the tongue. He just didn't wait. He was just like, nah, bugger it.
Yeah. I was like, okay, do you even know her name?
Exactly.
No?
I don't think you've had a chance to even introduce yourselves.
Maybe get the lady a drink. Maybe she's parched.
I know, you're meant to be classy. These are the next generation of presidents and senators.
But that's the thing. It shows it for what it is. And this is the curtain pulled back. Skulls.
Oh, yeah, this is an expose, this movie.
Is expose, exactly. This is a white privilege film just in the right.
Oh,
not only that, because especially, this is really not good timing, Tyson, but anyway, the only black character or person in this entire film gets killed by the very privileged.
We get one other, and that's not saying it's okay. We've got one other. I'm just stating there is one other. I don't think I saw a single.
The cop. That's right.
Was there a single African American skull?
No. Right. I made sure that I looked that up. That is a note that I have. There is no African American skull.
That's got a sting.
Yeah, that's a sting.
Rob Cohen.
That's probably why you can't buy it anymore, Tyson.
Oh, maybe. Maybe everybody that made it just went, dudes, we got to pretend like this movie didn't exist because this is shady as fuck.
But not only is it no African American faces, you have no diversity in the skulls at all. You're not looking at any of the Asian population in the skulls. Nope. There's nothing, no one.
Oh, look, okay, let's be fair though. The prostitute does appear to be Czechoslovakian.
Oh my God.
So come on, that's fair. There's a little bit. No, you're right. It's fucking shambles. I think you're right. That's why this movie is no longer available.
Do you know what I mean? That's why it's no longer available. There's no Mexican faces. You're not getting any Indian blood in there. There's nothing. You've got this is white. This is not white supremacy. This is white privilege. Sorry.
Well, it's
obviously it's
potato
mine because of what's gone down. Exactly. But yeah, it's not good. Not good. And the fact that I was like, oh yeah, she's there. Are these prostitutes? And she just speaks with a Czech accent. I'm like, oh no, this is there.
It's it's interesting that because the cop character, just to kind of he's from Boston Legal and
he's
stuff like that. He's like a stalwart of 90s and early 2000s television. And I want to look up his name because I know his face so well.
Yeah, he's made a bucket load of TV cash. That's where all the cash is.
Steve Harris? Yeah.
Steve Harris. That's one.
Who was in The Rock. He was one of the soldiers. He was one of Ed Harris's soldiers.
One of the soldiers, of course. I know him in Minority Report as well.
Yeah.
He's one of the guys behind the desk. Behind one of the 3D
ball fondlers. That's what they call them, isn't it? The ones that
ball fondlers.
The ones that catch the little ball,
catch the red
balls.
Red ball.
Yeah, so he's an interesting character because you think, and that could have made it even worse because then the only other African American character turns out to be evil, and it's like
exactly.
So one's dead and one's evil, and that's your representation right
that's
there.
It. I did kind of like how they played with that a little. How you were you're a skull. You're a skull. It was a little, it was a little something.
I'll be honest. I think there is a segment, there is a small portion of this movie where I feel like it becomes the movie that I want it to be, and it's relatively enjoyable. And that is when basically
they
from the greatest needle drop in the movie, which is when Fat Boy Slim starts while he's punching up some dude.
Oh, yeah. And that dude was huge.
Right here, right now, right here. I was like, yeah, all right, this is where we're at.
So good.
But yeah, up to up to the end of the car chase, I guess, when Steve Harris shoots
Shooter McGavin.
Shooter McGavin. I was like, oh, what's his name? Yes, Shooter McGavin.
Shooter.
Yeah, I think that, for me, that is a good portion of this movie. That is when this movie starts to understand what movie it should be. A real fucking dumb but bonkers thriller where anything can happen. The camera's all moving around the place and he's kind of losing his mind a little bit and he ends up in a mental institution and it's all like, what? What do you mean he's in a mental institution?
That was insane.
But that's what I mean. That's what this movie should have been. And it's only that for 20 minutes. And that 20 minutes is good, man. That 20 minutes is good fun.
But I wanted some more, like, I wanted him to get into the Skulls for the start, for him to be one for quite a bit, and then just to see, you know, some hands moving behind the curtains a bit, and for him to notice things, and for him to go, oh, this is a bit dodge, and then all of a sudden for the curtain to come really back and to realize that you're in and you're locked in and you can't get out no matter what you do, and him trying to escape even with the help of his friends, he's not going to ever get out. You know, that's what I wanted.
Well, so it's probably a longer movie than it needs to be, but you're right. There needs to be more in it. And I find it really interesting that, like, I don't want this movie to be longer because I don't think it should be. But for some reason, I feel like more stuff needs to happen in it because you're right. He goes from, it's all very, very fast the way it moves from, he wants in, he's in, now he doesn't want to be in. Oh, shit, he's in a mental institution. Like, there's actually very little that happens between that as far as actual events. But if you just select the dot points, that's all that happens. And so why is this movie so long?
That's me in my 20s. He's in the club. He's out of the club. Oh, now he's in a mental institution. Oh, shit. And now he has to go to work. It's fucking Monday. You idiot. God, that's funny.
Yeah, what a bender. That's a weekend bender right there. That's a good one. That's not bad.
That's good. I have a good one. How good was the revealing process? The reveal, it was called the reveal all cell. How you just have to stand there and talk to your friend in a cell that's dropped into the ground. I was like, this is just very fucking convenient, isn't it?
I think it's a very elaborate for essentially what you can just do standing in a room with each other. But that's okay.
Maybe just sit in a chair. Maybe sit in a leather-bound chair.
Maybe sit in that really nice room where William Peterson and buddy...
and Craig T. Nelson
hang out, which is literally a room that has 2 chairs and a table and a little table, and that's it.
And that's it.
That's all that's in that room.
That's bizarre.
I was like, where's the bookshelves? Where's like the... If you're going to make this
where's the leather-bound?
Yes.
Exactly.
Many leather-bound books and an open fireplace.
It
was literally just 2 chairs. And I'm like, come on, guys. Like, I know it's a big mansion, but surely you can't waste a whole room on 2 chairs.
They spent their money on lighting and
that's it.
The war room.
The war room.
Set.
It's like, we've got no money for furniture, guys.
It's fine.
Like, I found these 2 in an op shop. They're okay.
Don't worry about it. How that scene, by the way, like no loyalty in the Skulls. Everyone is just there to fuck each other over.
But
I was like, wow.
That's why everyone's trying to get rid of Craig T. Nelson because he's a real piece of work.
Yeah, he's a prick.
And whatever. Like, it's weird that this movie makes tries to make a good guy out of a senator who's obviously cashed in on his membership in the club and has been sleeping with a 19-year-old behind his wife's back and
what the
it's like, but at the end of the movie when he's like, what does he say? Way to go, son. Way to go.
Yeah.
Well played, or what does he say?
Well played.
I need to know because it was fucking great. I was just like, what are you trying to say?
It really wasn't. It was terrible. You were like, oh, what the fuck does that even mean?
I'm looking it up because it was so perfect.
All right. Well, while you look it up, Tyson, how are your notes going?
I still got a few.
You still got some things? Oh, okay, cool. All right. Well, you look up what he said.
I'm actually, there's nothing on YouTube, so I'm actually going to have to go to the quotes section of IMDb and hope for the best.
You're not going to find it in there? As if you're going to find it there.
Do you know what I'm going to do? Because this is the magic of technology, Nicholas. Because
you're going to.
Oh no, I can't. I deleted it. Hang on. All right, I found it. I put us on hold a moment. Well, let's play and find out.
Okay.
Well done, son. Well done.
Oh God! And then roll credits. Roll credits on the skulls.
Like roll credits on the skulls after that. What is he playing? He didn't play anything. Oh, fuck off.
No, it's like it's because he tries. He wants to make sure that he's like. He gives him the option. He tries to scare him with all the. Oh, I'm going to come after you, and I might ask you for a favor.
You're going to come back? Yeah.
You sure you're not going to try? You know, maybe you do want to be a skull, and he's just like walks out. So he's like, oh, well done, son.
Well played, young man. Well played.
That made me.
I found it really. Yeah, I'm not going to talk about it anymore. I found it really ridiculous how he, like. It's in the rule book how to get out of this situation.
No, that was so ridiculous because he goes, live by the rules, die by the rules. And I'm like, I've seen that rule book. How does he know that that's the rule? Because surely he's meant to sit there and go, okay, well, that rule's not going to help me. That rule's not going to help me. It's like he just turns to the page and goes, oh, hey, I can just challenge him to a duel.
Yeah.
I didn't like that at all.
No, neither.
One bit. I needed a montage. I needed a montage of him with the book and with a pad and paper, like writing things, maybe like looking through like old law books because he wants to be a lawyer and being like, does this stand up in, blah, blah, blah. Trying to maybe, when you go to the libraries and you get those newspaper machines. I needed a bit of that where he's looking up and finding articles that match up to certain rules. He's like, that's somebody tried that rule and they ended up in the river. And then he finally gets this one and goes, well, this is all I got left. This is the one that has to be.
Damn it. And he had pistols at dawn.
Pistols at dawn.
Pistols at dawn.
Yeah.
So good.
It was. Look, it's pretty great. This is not my joke, but I find it really interesting. I think this might have been in the Roger Ebert review that I read. Is that he found it so fascinating that they talk about the duel ritual, and they're like, oh, this is an old ritual and no one's really heard of it for years. And they're like, really? Are we actually going to do this? And yet they walk outside to a platform clearly designed for duels.
Duels, yeah. That's been like manicured and looked after.
That someone's looking after, and it's like, oh, hey, we've got that duel platform out the back.
Exactly, and they bring out 3 sets of pistols.
Exactly,
that have been cleaned. Everything knows what they're doing. Every did you see like how those 3 guys who are bringing out those pistols loaded them, and they knew no one was fumbling.
Exactly, no one's looking around like, are we going to do this?
Yeah, no,
is this actually happening?
Like, do I put the powder in? I put it in here. And then
does anyone know how to shoot an old-timey gun? Is it the powder then the pellet, right?
Powder then the pellet. No, it's after pellet then the powder.
Oh, right.
Okay. Shit, Jack Sparrow the shit out of me.
Yeah. Exactly. Oh God.
Damn it.
What else?
I'm done.
Well,
I've got nothing.
The only other things, there were a couple of things that I feel like I did mention that like the good moments. I feel like that this movie had its potential to be kind of much more fun than it was if it had have really embraced the silliness and gone kind of a bit gonzo with it, which it doesn't. Which is a real bummer. Which is why I'm hoping Disturbing Behavior is better, because I feel like that's what Disturbing Behavior does. I feel like that kind of embraces it a bit more.
It goes a little, I think it's a little Village of the Damned, a little bit.
I know it's like a supernatural thing, so it's within its rights. You want it
to be something that it's not,
But why can't the Skulls, it doesn't have to be supernatural, but why doesn't it go more trash?
Nutty?
Like it tries to be serious and ends up being more trashy than something that aims to be trash.
Exactly. It should go full trash like Wild Things and just go fully embrace it. And you're like, yes, where is Bill Murray when you need him?
Bill Murray?
So Bill Murray in Wild Things.
In Wild Things? I have not watched that.
Dude, come on.
Kevin
He's
Bacon,
like halfway through it. Yep. That one.
Dennis Richards and Neve Campbell are the ones that I remember. Yep. I don't remember Bill Murray.
Prescott. Bill Murray plays a lawyer.
I'm going to have to rewatch Wild Things. Does Wild Things hold up?
You have to watch Wild Things. Wild Things is, as long as you know what you're in for, Wild Things is a wild ride.
Okay.
I didn't mean to say that.
I'm fairly certain that's on the DVD cover somewhere, quoted by some trashy journalist. Wild Things is a wild ride. Oh, God. No, but I like the only...
back Wild Things.
What's that?
I'll back Wild Things.
Right.
I don't mind. I don't mind Wild Things. Right. I'll back it.
I might have to give it a watch.
If I'm backing Nickelback, then God damn it, I might as well chuck everything else in. Fuck it. Wild Things is awesome.
There's no defending our taste anymore. It's just like, well, you know what?
Exactly.
Fuck it. I like wild things. What are you going to do
about it? You know what?
it?
I like wild things. Yeah. And you know what? Interstellar sucked. No, I'm kidding.
Exactly. I hate The Godfather. What a piece of shit. So these are the points that I thought was like, all right, if we want to have a normal discussion about this, because I think we've shot the shit and had a bit of fun. But do you know what? Like, I think what was silly was the way that they actually showed the video footage of Caleb.
Sure.
No, sorry, not the video footage. The way they gave us the flashback wouldn't have been much more effective if we didn't know, because then it could play up that paranoia.
Exactly.
And yes, we can assume that it was like unreliable, maybe he, blah, blah, blah. But if they just hadn't have shown that flashback at all, and all we had was the conversation between him and Pacey.
Yeah.
And we played up that kind of weird, so when he turns up and he's just around the corner, like, and it's like we get a little sting in the orchestra and it's like, oh, Paul Walker's up to something. Paul Walker's really dodgy. Yeah. And then we find out when we watch the footage that he actually was not that bad a guy. He was just a coward. And, that happens. Like, he's had issues his whole life coming out of his father's shadow. Like, so, it's understandable. And then suddenly it completely changes our understanding of this character. But it doesn't do that, because we already think that of him. We already think that he was just victim of circumstance and and just not a very, like, courageous person, a bit of a weasel. Yeah?
Yeah.
And
Absolutely.
suddenly it's a totally different movie. Suddenly it's a heaps more effective movie.
Exactly.
Because he can be like, he could be playing the villain. Like, and when he goes to the cops and he's like, I already told you what you've done, that could have been like a dun dun dun. But instead it just kind of smells like desperation of a guy who's trying to get out of it. You know what I mean? Like,
he's trying to clam it. Yeah. He's trying to, as
opposed to him being like this evil genius who we should think it is, and then we find out later it's like, oh no, it wasn't him at all.
But he's not. He's just a dumbass.
That's what I mean. Exactly. But we shouldn't know that until the end.
Good.
Because then there's actual tension there about that character. I feel like he just ends up being like a patsy, but way too early in the movie, so we don't get a chance to kind of. Anyway,
that would have been really good.
It just it's something.
Do you know what it reminds me of? Do you know what was really good? I actually really enjoyed it. It was Pacey's high school friends who steal cars.
Oh, yeah.
I actually really like that.
Nice little addition to the movie, isn't it?
Yeah, I like that.
You don't expect to see that in a movie like this, and they were good.
Exactly. They were good. They were quite good. I did like them.
Beating up Shooter McGavin. I mean, 10 points.
Yeah, exactly.
Can't beat that.
Shooter.
Yeah. And I liked. I'll tell you what I did like. I liked the scene where they pretend like she dumps him in the cafeteria.
Oh, sure.
I was like...
You don't think it was a little thick? It was laid on a little thick. It's supposed to be.
Yeah, but it's only laid on a little bit thick because we know that it is. I think for other people in the room, they'd be like, holy shit. And I love that there's some people that go that are like, woo!
Yeah, dump his ass. Well done. All right.
Those guys are the best.
I'm sticking it to the man, you jerk. Who writes a letter? You fucking loser.
And now I have a question. When Caleb turns around and says, well played or good play.
Well played. Good
is
move.
he being sarcastic like, way to fuck it up with your girlfriend? Or does he know that they're doing that to separate?
Yeah, a smarter movie would have been the latter. I don't think it's the latter.
I'm not convinced either.
Yeah.
I wanted to be convinced that it was him knowing his ploy, and he's like, no, you're not. You're not smart enough for me. I can figure that out.
Yeah.
But maybe it was just him going, dude, she's a babe. What are you doing? Why'd you fuck it up?
Man? I totally hit that. Dude, fuck you.
Paul Walker is ripped in this movie, P.S.
Oh, yeah. He's hunk Paul Walker that goes into the movie that was clearly just sold for sex. What do guys like? Guys like Jessica Alba. What do girls like? Girls like Paul Walker. I'm talking Into the Blue. Is it Into the Blue?
Yeah, Into the Blue.
Everyone
I have definitely never watched that movie. I don't think I will ever watch that movie.
If you want to satisfy both male and female for some eye candy, you watch Into the Blue.
No, fair enough.
You can't now.
Equal opportunity eye candy. I like it.
Absolutely.
Yeah, but I actually didn't hate Paul Walker in this either. Like, I usually find him really wooden. I thought he was
he's
okay.
quite wooden, isn't he?
I thought this was...
I remember in Fast and Furious, when we did Fast and Furious, he was kind of the lacking. He would always... His acting was either sitting at a 3 or for some reason it was up at 11.
Yeah.
And you're like, dude, you need to find a happy medium.
Well, that's called like learning how to act. And that would be nice.
but yeah, in this he was just a little bit. Not to put it bluntly, he was just a little bit dumb.
But I actually think this might have been where we missed the boat on Paul Walker. I think maybe because I actually found him pretty believable as kind of a weasel, like kind of a scumbag rich kid. I actually found him that came to him pretty naturally. I think maybe trying to make him a cool leading man was maybe not the way to go with Paul Walker. Maybe we should have been making him a bit more, because you remember the only other movie that I actually think he's really good in is Running Scared, where he is a big piece of shit.
Right. Running Scared.
Running Scared. It's a Wayne Kramer movie, and it's fucking brutal and really, really fun. Like, well, that's how I remember it. It might be kind of like, it might be a bit stoner bro sick now, but
he's the douche in She's All That as well.
Yeah, it's not so much he's the douche because he's meant to be. I don't like him when he's playing like slick douchebag. I think in this he's actually just a bit of a piece of shit. Like, and he's got zero self-confidence that he's trying to mask it with money and cars.
Yeah, right.
Like, you can see how much he just crumbles with any kind of threat or any kind of... I mean, he punches on with Pacey, but, like, especially, like, anything to do with his dad, anything to do with, like, actual problems that he's got, he just ends up cowering, just being like, oh no, what do I do?
He just, backs the fuck out.
And I think he does that pretty well. I actually was kind of like, yeah, you're not bad at this.
He does, actually, yeah. How good was Timeline? That was good.
Oh, my God. Is that Richard Donner? That's Richard Donner.
That's Richard Donner. Oh, well, now I need to see it.
Oh, no, you don't. It's no good.
Is it good?
No.
It's good, isn't it?
Not even a little bit.
Come on.
Gerard Butler
and Billy Connolly.
No, who's the girl in
David, David Thewlis.
David Thewlis?
Francis O'Connor.
No, O'Connor.
Francis O'Connor.
Of course.
O'Connor, yeah.
That movie is no good. I don't understand that movie's existence.
I don't believe you. I'm going to watch it.
Watch Running Scared. Running Scared's good. I remember it being good. It's
after I watch all 7 of the Fast and Furious movies.
Yeah,
because I'm going to do it. I know that I've said that I'm going to, and I will. You watch
all 8, soon to be 9.
Soon to be 9. No one's watching Hobbs and what do you call it? That's not
Hobbs
part of it. Is that part of canon?
Canon? It's part of canon, but I don't count it as one of the actual Fast and Furious movies.
One of the films.
It's a spin-off, but it's definitely in the same universe.
Vin Diesel isn't in it.
No, man. Right. It's about family. If it's not about family, I'm not interested. Actually, I think Hobbs and Shaw is about family, because doesn't The Rock, doesn't he start a war and he's Samoan, at his village or something, and I
haven't seen Hobbs and Shaw.
It's in the trailers, man. He's there's a bit at the end where him and all these he's Islander brothers are just all hanging out and fucking up dudes.
Oh, really?
So it's clearly about family as well, because they're all about family.
I mean, I love
family and Coronas. That's what we
family
need.
And Coronas, exactly.
That's all we need.
And ribs, barbecue.
Oh yeah,
man's got to eat.
And a barbecue, but it's like a shopping trolley tipped on its side. That's the kind of barbecue that they have.
It's like the it's an oil drum.
Oh yes,
and they pull it open like that. Like in it's gone when we did Gone in 60 Seconds. Oh no, that was a car bonnet. That's right.
I know the one you're talking about.
Was a car bonnet.
You just cut it. Cut the oil drum in, the top little bit. You just shove a pole in there. Yeah, I like it.
So good.
I like it.
So good.
Look, Nick, that's pretty much all I have about the Skulls. I feel like
all right.
It's not. Yeah, we got some information out of it. I think we got something out of it.
We did. I hope everyone enjoyed. Tyson, have you any chance you've seen Skulls 2?
I think
that came out in 2002.
Yeah. So okay, here's
Lord.
the thing. So there was in the early 2000s there was a run of bad kind of made for DVD sequels to teen thrillers. And I think I've seen a fair portion of each of them, and that is the
dear Lord.
That is the Cruel Intentions sequels.
Oh,
and the
yep,
Skulls
2 and 3.
sequels.
Yep.
And I know
and
this because
sequels.
both Cruel Intentions 2 and the Skulls 2 star the same guy, and he's got a weird name.
And his name is Robin Dunn.
Thank you.
Is it Robin Dunn?
Robin Dunn. At least that's not that weird a name. I don't know why I said that.
It could be a weird name.
Yeah, so I'm fairly certain. Is he in Cruel Intentions 2 or Cruel Intentions 3?
No, I think he's in 3.
Right.
Because I think Cruel Intentions 3 is someone of not notoriety, but I think
Amy Adams is in one of them. She's in either 2 or 3.
Yes. Cruel Intentions 2. Oh no, you may be right. Yes, it is. He's in 2.
He's in 2, right.
Yeah.
So, and I think, do you know what? You will remember this. We used to get our preview DVDs where it had,
we did, yeah.
And it was like screeners and it would have the little property of blah, 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 blah. I
Down the
almost
bottom,
guarantee that one had Cruel Intentions 2 and the Skulls 2 on the same disc.
On the same disc.
And I think I watched them both.
Good Lord.
Hey, man, desperate times. Sometimes
exactly.
You opened up that drawer that had all the preview tapes in it and you were like, on a Saturday night and everyone took all the good stuff and you're like, well, what's left? Oh,
exactly.
Okay.
What am I watching?
This looks like this is what I'm watching tonight.
Exactly. I'm watching Species 3.
Oh my God, Species 3. You're so right. Well, after all that, Nicholas, I think it's time we have our other segment that pretty much wraps up the show. Nicholas, you're going to have to count us in again because, we've wrapped up. What else are we going to talk about? I mean, seriously. Ready? Let's do it.
Here we go. Ready? And...
James! Nice. Yeah, it was a bit all over the shop. So, Nick, I'll go first because yours is better. But my choice is...
Not at all.
Well, look, I don't even know if this movie's any good anymore. I've seen it once.
No, tell the people why we're picking these.
Our streaming picks this week. Dawson's Creek alumni.
Alumni.
Woo-woo-woo.
I don't want
Give it up for Dawson's.
For our lives to be over. Oh, my God.
I
Rage going.
I definitely have a Dawson's Creek fanatic in the next room.
Yeah.
So I cut you off from your beautiful rendition of the theme.
I don't want to wait. I love Dawson's Creek, man. I was all over it. I have the box set, the full box set.
Yeah.
And on a rewatch, maybe just stick to seasons 1, 2, and 3.
Just 1, 2, and 3, you say?
Yeah, they get out of high school and it starts to be shit. But yeah, what have you got, Tyson?
Well,
what are you
look,
picking?
this is a movie I've seen once. I really enjoyed it when I saw it. Who knows if it's any good anymore? I'm going to recommend it because I think it's a movie that kind of went over a lot of people's heads. Not over. Sorry, that sounds really patronizing. I think a lot of people just missed it. Like, didn't see it.
Okay.
Not that they didn't understand it. That's really terrible.
Okay, yeah.
It's not hard.
Yeah.
It's not like some mind bender or anything. No, it's just that it was not many people saw it. And it's a little movie from 2003 called Pieces of April, starring Katie Holmes.
Oh, I've seen that. Yeah.
Yeah.
I was a huge Katie Holmes fan, man.
Yeah.
Huge.
And look, like, for a little while there, obviously, a lot of people were. And we were all kind of like, well, what's she doing? And this was probably the most... I enjoyed her in a role. I feel like this was. I remember at the time thinking, "Wow, this was actually like a really good showcase for her for her talent." So it's just basically for those interested. A quirky and rebellious April Burns lives with her boyfriend in a low-rent New York City apartment, miles away from her emotionally distant family. When she discovers that her mother has a fatal form of breast cancer, she invites the clan to her place for Thanksgiving.
Yeah.
So
it's
it
being a very. It's a very indie movie. I remember
super
it being,
indie, super dysfunctional family indie comedy drama. Heartfelt moments, laughs at life's interesting moments and all that kind of stuff. But she's really good as the very troublesome kind of early 20s daughter of this family, who's
just
a real troublemaker
to what they are. Yeah,
for sure.
Yeah,
And it was also a bit of a twist on her Dawson's Creek persona, which is obviously well established as her being a bit of a kind of, which I think she tried to do a lot to varied results. Like you have disturbing behavior, you have teaching Mr. Tingle, you have this, you have the gift. She really did try to shake the Joey persona in a lot of the movies that she did. And this is, I remember this being quite effective. Like I said, I saw it in 2003. Never seen it since. Right. Remembered really liking it. So it's definitely worth watching because you can watch it for free on a streaming site that I like to plug because it's a lot of fun to plug this one, and that is Tubi.
Tubi TV?
Yeah, Tubi TV. Just get the app on your phone. It casts to your television if you've got a Chromecast or Apple TV. It says it's meant to have ads, but because... you don't end up watching a lot of ads. I don't know if you've noticed this, Nick, on it. It's because I just don't think a lot of companies pay to have their advertisements run on Tubi.
Because no one watches Tubi
Because they know that no one watches Tubi TV, so it's like, well, we're not going to pay money for that. And if you do, unfortunately, this is the worst thing about it. If by chance you've got a movie where there is an ad that's been purchased, it's usually only the one ad, and so you watch the one ad 7 times.
Oh, fuck.
I know. But having said that, they're not full length. They're like YouTube length ads as well, so it's quite bearable.
That's fine.
Just zone out for a second and then come straight back. But yeah, I really rate Tubi.
It's all fine.
Also because the streaming quality is really high, and for an app like this where it could potentially be really garbage, the transfers of the films they always get aren't fantastic, but the streaming quality is really good. So if you cast it from your phone to an Apple TV or Chromecast, it's immediately like crisp HD.
Right, synced and amazing.
Yeah.
Nice.
Tubi TV, Pieces of April from 2003. Nick, what do you got?
Tys, I know you're a big fan of this movie because we've talked about it before. But the only other one because I didn't want to go Varsity Blues. Dawson was my man. I was always a Dawson guy. When the love triangle of Pacey, Joey, and Dawson was happening, I was always on Dawson's side. I know how that rubs everyone the wrong way.
That is the unpopular opinion, my man.
Exactly. I do not care. But I am going to talk about 2001's Texas Rangers.
Oh,
now,
yeah.
This thing, I remember it coming out, and of course I saw it because I was a big Dawson's Creek fan. But Jesus, this was just, it wasn't, I don't remember a lot about it, but I remember a lot of people being in it. That's all I remember because I was a big fan of Rachel Lee Cook. She was kind of a 2000s, 90s girl, kicking about, and she was really good. Ashton Kutcher was in it. Dylan McDermott. Usher, the singer, was in it, and he was actually really, really good. I was like, why isn't Usher coming in? Why isn't more of him? Tom Skerritt was in it.
I like a bit of Tom Skerritt.
Alfred, do you say Molina? Molina. And of course, the one and only T-1000. Robert Patrick.
Robert Patrick is definitely in that movie.
Everyone was in this thing, and it was just it was an action, very heavily on the action, I remember. So it was a lot of guns, a lot of shootouts. I have no idea what the storyline was. I could not tell you.
Oh, it doesn't hold up at all. But
no.
I watched it recently thinking, like, how much fun this will be to watch Texas Rangers again. It's pretty rough. Yeah. But maybe, who knows, maybe I'll come around on it. Maybe I'll watch it again another 3 or 4 years and just be like, you know what, I was just in a bad mood. This is a lot of fun.
This is great. Yeah. Exactly. And the best bit about this, Tyson, is unfortunately, unlike the fantastic streaming service Tubi TV, if you would like to watch Texas Rangers from 2001, the only place you can look at it, Tyson, is on iTunes, which means you have to pay for it. And you are paying, Tyson, to rent this thing $4.99, or to buy it, it is a solid $10.
Okay, I might. No, you know what? Purchase if it's in HD on iTunes and it's for $10.
It is
that's
HD.
not bad. That's not bad.
What?
I'll tell you what. If I happen to be scrolling through and I see that thing for sale for $4.99, I'm not going past that. That's $5 that I'm partying with for sure.
Don't buy it, Tyson. You crazy.
Why
bastard.
not? Why not?
Okay. All right. Fine. Texas Rangers. It is.
Texas Rangers. I'll just throw it out there as well while we're talking about it. And I think we have seen this. We've maybe mentioned this before, but have you seen that Wicked Power Rangers short film with James Van Der Beek?
Oh, I have seen that.
That's
he plays
good.
the Blue Ranger.
Yeah.
It's on YouTube.
It's just on YouTube. It goes for like 10 minutes, not even. And it's like if Power Rangers was a fucking like Robert Rodriguez movie.
Really messed up.
Really full on, really violent, really fun.
Yeah.
Definitely worth a watch.
I liked it.
Oh my God, that was directed by the guy that directed Talk.
Oh, yes. How good is Talk?
Let's
watch that.
Let's
watch that.
No, please.
Come on, let's watch that. No, I'm kidding.
I don't want to.
Segue into that, though. Tyson, what are we watching next week?
Well, next week, Nick, to continue our all killer, no filler, which we've taken a break from this week, clearly, because we did all filler this week.
We did all filler.
Zero
it was
killer.
a filler film.
Zero killer, all filler.
It was
no, that's not fair. It was a completely mediocre to average film.
Which is worse.
Which is maybe worse.
Sorry.
But none of that.
What are we doing, Tyson?
We're hitting we're going the 50s via the 70s, Nicholas.
Exactly.
And I cannot wait to watch this because I feel like it was made. Yeah, it's made in the 70s for sure.
Yeah,
wasn't
right.
it? 78. Well, we're going to find out because we're going to be talking the musical Grease. Well, the musical movie Grease.
78. You're right. I have not seen this in a very long time, but I could probably word for word it. I tell you what.
Yeah, I'm fairly certain I'm going to be. You're going to have to. Yeah. It's going to be hard for me to shut my mouth while this is on instead of just saying everything wrong with it.
What was I going to say? No, it's gone. Grease. Oh, that's why. Because we haven't done a musical in a while, and if you're going to do the top of the pops of the musical, if you're going to do the best musical, do you think it's Grease, Tyson?
No, I don't. But I think it's
not
one
Sweeney,
of the most
and it's
fun.
Definitely not Into the Woods. It's Grease.
I think it understands its material perhaps better than any other musical movie.
Oh, I like that. I like that a lot.
It understands its source material for sure, and it's one of the few that's better than its source material as well. Because the source material has the songs that were written for the movie much better. The placement of the songs in the movie, much better.
Much better.
The overall storyline in the movie, much better.
Much better.
So it's one of the few that actually betters its source material. So I like it. It's going to be a lot of fun to talk about. Hey, Nicholas, I'm just putting it out there.
Greece.
I think we've done it. Shortest episode ever. I'll wait till the edit. But I've got money on this being shorter than what was the other shortest one? Was it the Lean on Me episode or something like that?
Stand by Me.
Stand by Me. Sorry, we've got one episode that clocked under an hour and a half. Which
really
this one is.
I think
also
it was
going
Stand by
to
Me
do.
because we didn't know what we were both really tired and didn't know what to talk about. We're like, yeah, this movie's great. We love it, and that was it. Yeah, that was it.
Watch this movie. It's real good.
Yeah. It's real good.
Well, there you go, Nick. Why don't you really quickly, so that we can get this under an hour and a half, why don't you tell the people at home where they can find our show?
That's hilarious. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for listening to Nick Tyson Videotape. My name is Nicholas. This is my good friend Tyson. We do a movie podcast. It's lovely. If you do like what you hear thus far, please like, review, rate, subscribe, all of those things. Wherever you're listening to it, we would love it so much. Other than that, we are on all the socials, which is Facebook, Instagram, Twitter. We do have a YouTube account if you wish to look us up there. You're not going to see anything, but you're going to hear us. Other than that, we are big fans of the Letterboxd app. So if you do want to follow Tyson and myself and see what else we're watching and see what we've rated the Skulls, we do not talk about that on the show. We do not talk about our ratings. We only show it on our Letterboxd. So if you want to look us up, Tyson is TYS_videotape and I am Nick, NIC_videotape.
That's it, Nicholas.
Tyson.
I'm so excited for next week, man.
Grease.
I'll see you then.
Do I own Grease? Do you own Grease?
I own like 7 copies of it. I've got many different versions. Yeah, I can lend you one if you like.
Oh, that'd be lovely.
Yeah.
Thanks, man. Can I have my Krull back, by the way?
No, I'm going to hang on to that for a little bit.
Give me my Krull, you See ya. Bye, Tyson.
Bye.